Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, the one who knows what is in every heart before it is even spoken. We send peace and blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad, his family, his companions, and all those who follow his guidance until the last day. Brothers and sisters, I want to start today with a question, and I want you to answer it honestly in your own heart, not out loud. How much of your mental energy today, this week, this month has gone into thinking about other people? Why do they say that? Why didn't they reply? What did they mean by that look? Why didn't they invite me? Are they upset with me? What are they really thinking about me? If you're honest with yourself, the answer for most of us is a lot. Too much. Possibly more energy than we've spent. Thinking about our own salah, our own Qur'an, our own relationship with Allah. We have become a generation of overthinkers, not about our purpose, not about the hereafter, not about our own hearts, but about other people. We replay conversations in our heads at 1 a.m. We analyze a single text message for an hour. We construct entire imaginary arguments with people who don't even know we're upset with them. We let the opinions, moods, and behavior of others move into our minds and set up permanent residence, paying no rent, taking up all the space. And brothers and sisters, this is exhausting. It is exhausting. And more importantly, it is spiritually costly, because every minute you spend overthinking what someone else thinks of you is a minute stolen from thinking about what Allah thinks of you. And that is the only opinion that will matter on the day you stand before Him. So today I want to talk to you about how to stop this cycle, like how to protect your heart from the exhausting habit of overthinking people, and how to place your trust back where it has always belonged in Allah. And before we fix something, we need to understand it. Why do we do this? Why do we give people, sometimes people who barely think about us at all, so much space in our minds? Often it comes from a desire for control. We cannot control what people think of us, what they say behind our backs, how they interpret our actions. And human beings hate uncertainty. So our mind tries to solve the uncertainty by overthinking or by running every possible scenario, hoping that if we think about it enough, we'll somehow gain control over something that was never ours to control in the first place. Other times, it comes from a wounded sense of self-worth. If someone didn't reply, didn't include us, didn't smile the way we expected, we internalize it as evidence of something deeply wrong with us, and our mind spirals trying to find out what that something is. And sometimes, honestly, it comes from simply not having enough trust in Allah's plan. If we truly believe that nothing reaches us except what Allah has already written for us, then a person's coldness, a friend's silence, a colleague's misunderstanding would not have the power to dismantle our entire day. Brothers and sisters, the Prophet warned us clearly about a related, deeper danger, the danger of suspicion. Allah says in the Qur'an, "O you who believe, avoid much suspicion, for indeed some suspicion is sin." Overthinking people very often is not neutral mental activity. It is the seed of suspicion, and suspicion is something Allah explicitly warns us against, because it poisons the heart and it poisons relationships, often based on nothing but our own assumptions. Let's talk honestly about what this habit actually cost you. It costs you your peace. A heart that is constantly running scenarios about what others think has no room left for tranquility. And tranquility, Sakeenah, is something Allah promises to the believer who places their trust in Him. Overthinking and Sakeenah cannot occupy the same heart at the same time. It costs you your time in worship. How many times has someone's comment occupied your mind during Salah? How many times have you sat down to recite Qur'an only to find your thoughts drifting back to a conversation from 3 days ago, replaying it for the 100th time. Every moment given to overthinking someone is a moment stolen from your connection with Allah. It costs you your relationships. Ironically, the more we overthink people, the worse our relationships often become because we start interacting with the imagined version of someone built entirely out of our assumptions rather than the real person in front of us. We become defensive over things that were never actually said. We distance ourselves from people based on intentions we invented in our own minds. And it costs you your sense of self. When your sense of worth depends entirely on managing what others think of you, you have effectively outsourced your self-worth to people who, frankly, are not thinking about you nearly as much as you imagine. Most people are far too consumed with their own lives, their own worries, their own overthinking to be dedicating the kind of attention to you that your anxious mind assumes. Okay, now here is the beautiful part, brothers and sisters. Islam does not leave us stuck in this cycle. Allah gives us a complete framework for protecting the heart from exactly this kind of spiritual and mental exhaustion. First, Allah tells us to give people the benefit of the doubt. The Prophet said that when you have a doubt about a fellow believer, you should resolve it in the best possible way. Imagine if, instead of constructing the worst case interpretation of someone's silence, we trained ourselves to construct the most charitable one. Maybe they're going through something. Maybe they didn't see the message yet. Maybe it had nothing to do with me at all. This single shift, choosing the most generous interpretation instead of the most paranoid one, can dissolve half of the overthinking before it even begins. Second, Allah reminds us that hearts are not in our hands, they are in His. There is a beautiful dua the Prophet used to make frequently. Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabit kalbi ala dinik. O turner of hearts, make my heart firm upon your religion. Notice, even the Prophet, the most beloved of creation, did not assume he controlled hearts, not even his own. If the hearts of people are entirely in Allah's control, then trying to manage, predict, or overthink every person's opinion of you is quite literally trying to control something that was never within your jurisdiction to begin with. Let it go. It was never yours to hold. Third, Allah tells us that whatever reaches us was already written. No calamity strikes except by Allah's permission. And whoever believes in Allah, He guides his heart. If someone's coldness, someone's words, someone's misunderstanding reaches you, it reached you because Allah allowed it to reach you for reasons of wisdom you may not see yet. This single belief, deeply internalized, takes away so much of the sting because you stop seeing it as a random injustice and start seeing it as something passing through Allah's permission for a reason that will eventually make sense. Let's talk practically now about tawakkul, placing your trust in Allah, specifically when it comes to people. Tawakkul does not mean you stop caring about relationships, stop trying to be kind, or stop communicating clearly. It means that after you've done your part, spoken honestly, behaved with good character, clarified a misunderstanding if needed, you hand the outcome over to Allah. You stop trying to control how people receive you, interpret you, or feel about you, because that part was never your responsibility. Your responsibility ends at your own intention and behavior. The rest belongs to Allah. This is incredibly freeing, brothers and sisters. It means you can speak to someone with sincerity, and if they still misunderstand you, you don't have to spiral. You've done your part, and the rest is between them and Allah. It means you can be a good friend, a good spouse, a good neighbor, and if someone still doesn't appreciate it, that does not undo your effort. In the eyes of Allah, who sees what you intended even when people don't. The companions of the Prophet lived with this kind of trust. They were mocked, slandered, even physically harmed, and yet their hearts remained remarkably settled because their sense of worth was never tied to how people treated them. It was tied to their relationship with Allah, which no person could ever take from them. And let me give you some practical, real steps you can begin using today. When you catch yourself overthinking someone, pause and ask, is this thought helping me take any action, or is it just spinning? If there's no action to take, if you've already said what needed to be said, recognize that this is simply spinning and consciously redirect your attention. Can't, too. Replace the overthinking with Dhikr. The moment you notice your mind drifting into, why did they say that? What did they mean? Interrupt it with astaghfirullah or la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no power except with Allah. This is not a small trick. It physically interrupts the spiral and reminds your heart where real power actually lies. I got 3. Limit your exposure to what feeds the spiral. If checking someone's social media, rereading old messages, or replaying conversations feeds the cycle, then for the sake of your own heart, step away from it. Protecting your heart sometimes means protecting it from your own habits, not just from other people. At 4, make dua for the person you're overthinking. This sounds strange, but it's powerful. If someone's behavior is occupying your mind, make a sincere dua for them, for their guidance, their ease, their well-being. It is very difficult to remain resentfully fixated on someone while genuinely praying good for them. Dua softens the heart that overthinking hardens. 5, return again and again to the reminder that people's opinions do not define your worth. Your worth was settled the moment Allah created you with a purpose. No misunderstanding, no cold shoulder, no unanswered message has the power to change that unless you hand them that power yourself. Brothers and sisters, let's bring this together clearly. Overthinking people is exhausting. It is spiritually costly. And very often it is built on assumptions rather than truth. Allah has given us a complete way out of this cycle. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Remember that hearts belong to Allah and not to us. Trust that whatever reaches us was already written, and practice tawakkul by doing your part and releasing the outcome. Protecting your heart does not mean becoming cold or distant from people. It means refusing to let your peace, your worship, and your sense of self be hostage to things that were never within your control. It means redirecting the energy you've been spending on overthinking others back toward the one who actually holds every heart, including yours, in his hands. So starting today, the next time your mind starts replaying a conversation, constructing a worst-case scenario, or spiraling over someone's silence, stop. Say astaghfirullah. Make dua for them. And remind yourself, their heart is with Allah, my heart is with Allah, and that is more than enough. I ask Allah to settle our hearts, to free our minds from the exhausting weight of overthinking His creation, and to fill that space instead with trust in Him alone. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.